Has your frequency changed? Now, throughout this entire journey of essentially controlling your reality through an alteration of your consciousness, you get to a point where you begin to wonder, has my frequency actually changed? And it's actually very important that you're aware you're aware of if your frequency has changed. So in this video, not only am I going to give you all the signs, each and every one of the signs to show you that your frequency has changed, but more importantly, something that's actually very dangerous that takes place, which essentially is nothing more than your old frequency trying to trick you into remaining within its particular paradigm. So you have to be very aware of these things because, it's all techie. That's why my stick guy, he's wondering to himself. He's like, has my frequency changed? Now, AJ asked me, why is one eye bigger than the other? Because he's Uncle Ruckus. And if you if you don't understand that, then I don't even know what to say to you. But let's get into it. And I'll be waiting up until you get home, cause I can't sleep with the... Again, guys. AJ, it's happened.
Already?
On its way out again. You see how much fire we're putting on these boards? Somebody keeps saying it's because I get the board too wet. Pause. But I don't know if that's true, but regardless, we're gonna cook regardless. I'll just take care of what's mine. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I told you guys, before actually being aware if your state of consciousness has actually shifted in proportion to your desired reality, I'd like to, as always, lay down the wood, pause, to make sure that you guys understand what the foundations we're building on is correct. So, if you want to alter your reality, you first must alter your frequency. That is the prerequisite to an alteration in your reality. Before anything can exist physically, it first must exist vibrationally. Now, of course, a frequency is nothing more than a vibration consistently repeated. So it's actually very important to be aware of if your frequency has changed, because you've been doing all this work. You've been taking notes, by the way. As usual, all the notes, make sure you leave them in the comments. Standard procedure. You've been doing all this work. You may be meditating, visualizing, doing whatever else, and becoming aware of the internal building blocks that have built you to the way that you are. But it's important that you're actually aware of everything that's taking place internally, hence why this video has my frequency changed. That's something you need to be aware of, because if you're not aware of if your frequency is changed, then you can easily slip back into old habits. And if you feel like you have, then go watch my video what to do when you fall back into your old frequency. Now, like I was saying, before anything can exist physically, it first must exist vibrationally. For the desired reality that you have, so your desired reality, in order for you to materialize that and manifest that, you need to be in a frequency that is the vibrational alignment to that reality. So, you need to become one with the consciousness of that particular desired reality. Now, as I said, that is the process. And for those of you who aren't aware of the process of manifestation, this is my conceptualization of it after 8 years of studying hundreds of books. I haven't seen this anywhere. And when I really, began to understand and see the definition of the process of manifestation through this particular frame, it made everything easier. Manifestation is when you internally shift to a degree to which you're no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing your reality change. So long as you need to see your reality change in order for you to feel good, then you've fallen for the trick. And the whole reason why you may be a bit anxious or insecure about if your frequency is actually changed, you're thinking that because your reality may not have changed. And the power that you put onto reality through your eyes will be to the same degree reality has power over you. So long as you are a slave to your eyes, reality will make you its slave. That's a bar, write that down. Now, as I was saying, this is the entire process, an oversimplification, of course. Now, I did tell you that your old frequency will use tricks in particular to attempt to essentially keep you within its particular paradigm. That's what it does. That's literally what it does. Now, somebody said, Nero, you're oiled up like you've got 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I don't even know what to say to that. One, I'm not oiled up. I never oil up. This isn't a stripper show. I'm just here, and niggas trying to throw the Diddy allegations on me is crazy work. That's nasty work right there. 1,000 bottles. Listen.
1,000 bottles is crazy. Bro.
You see how big them bottles are as well? Them bottles is like this. Anyways, let's stay on focus. So, as I was saying, this whole essential question kinda is essentially a reflection of the question you're asking, has my frequency changed, is actually a deeper question that you actually need to be aware of, which is this. Is this stuff working? That's the real question you're asking yourself. Is all of this stuff that I'm doing working? And the only reason you'd ever consider that is because you haven't seen change. And so long as you need to see change in order for you to be settled internally, you're never going to see what it is that you want. Because you need to be it before the world proves it to you. So long as you're waiting for the world to prove to you that you are in your desired reality, you're never going to be there. For the mere fact that, remember, the definition of manifestation, or my definition, is internally shifting to a degree to which you are no longer emotionally dependent on seeing reality change. If the definition of manifestation or the process is internally shifting to a degree to which you're no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing reality change, if you're asking yourself, is it working? Then the truth of the matter is, you may not have shifted internally as much as you think you have. Your frequency hasn't particularly changed. Because what essentially should happen when your frequency changes in reference to your desired reality? If you want to know if this work that you've been doing towards your desired reality is working, you'll know it's working when internally you're good with it and you're good without it. You don't need to see it. You don't need to see it. But it's very important you are aware of the science, which is why you need to stick around. Each one of them, it's going to click into your mind. But as I was saying, the deeper question when we ask ourselves, has my frequency changed, is this stuff working? Because to a degree, I'm extremely aware that to some degree, all our learning comes from a level of insecurity. We feel like we don't know enough. And because we feel like we don't know enough, there's a level of insecurity when we attempt to implement these particular methodologies. And when we do that, we're kind of second guessing ourselves. And what you have to understand about that is that the truth is, this insecurity and self-doubt that you feel when you're doing these things and you're really wondering to yourself, is this meditation stuff I'm doing, this visual, this reading, like all of this internal stuff and being aware of my thoughts and altering, is this stuff really even working? That insecurity and self-doubt comes from the old frequency. And let me explain why. Now, for more on this, go watch my video, Outsmart the Old Version of You That Won't Let You Go. But I'm going to give you a simplistic pause into what I'm saying here. So the old frequency, as you begin shifting and you begin implementing all of these particular spiritual science methodologies, internally shifting your thoughts, your emotions, becoming aware, your attention, so on and so forth, your old frequency gets very, very insecure. And one girl actually commented, the old frequency is like an ex that won't leave me alone. That's literally what it is. So when it begins to feel like you're shifting to a new particular state of reality, and this can be you jumping from one financial level to another, this can be you jumping from one particular typical type of relationships to one that may be better for you, extrapolate this to whatever it is that you're doing. Once it feels a shift is coming, it begins to feel insecure. It feels insecure in reference to the relationship that you guys have had, because it's been there with you this whole entire time. It's been with you at every given moment. So as you're beginning to pull away, it begins to become emotionally unstable. It begins to feel insecure and self-doubt. So it will project that onto you as a trick, because then you're going to internalize that self-doubt and insecurity as your own, and that is going to be expressed as, is this stuff even working? It's trying to get you to doubt all the work that you've been doing So you're just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do the normal shit and go back to being the same nigga that I was. And by the way, one girl commented, can you stop saying the N-word? Who's gonna tell her? She must be new here. Nah, listen, don't try and make me an influencer. If you try and make me an influencer, you're gonna be in for a rude awakening. I'm you like I don't even know what people think when they try to tell other people. But anyways, as I was saying, this particular old frequency is very, very tricky because you have to understand it knows you to extreme degrees more than anybody has ever known you because it's part of you. It's been part of you. It's an energetic version of you. And I gave this particular example in the Outsmart Old Version of You video. If you've ever seen that film Us, there's these doppelgangers, that Jordan Peele film. There's these doppelgangers. You have a doppelganger, but in terms of your frequencies, but your past frequencies, your current frequencies, and your potential frequencies, all of these are versions of you that exist. Now, as I said, that insecurity, self-doubt is projected onto you and expressed through you as the internal questioning of, is this stuff working? Am I really changing? Like, is this really working? Because it wants you to begin to question it. Because when you ask it, or when you ask yourself, is this stuff working? Typically as human beings, because we're so interconnected to the third dimensional realm and we're so directly tied to it, most of what we know to be the truth about reality are things that we've seen with our eyes. So it will say, essentially the real question is, has reality changed? And because reality hasn't changed, the answer is, no, it's not working. And that's the answer that it wants you to have, because it wants you to be apathetic and easily slide back into it, pause. It wants you to go back to your old ways for the mere fact that when you're thinking to yourself, has my reality changed? Let me see, let me look around. No, I'm still in the same circumstance. There's no point, fuck it. Why are you even trying to do that shit, nigga? Just go back to being a regular same person that you were. Don't even worry about it. Don't even go for better. It wants you to get into an apathetic state to which you feel like everything that you're doing is a waste of time. Let that sink in. So this self-doubt that you've been experiencing of, is this stuff really working? Am I really doing this stuff to the degree that it's actually having an effect on my life? That insecurity, that's not you. That is the old frequency, and it's very, very sneaky. I think it's quite sneaky, don't you think? Because if the definition or the process of manifestation, let me make that more obvious here. By the way, somebody commented on one of the videos, your red pen's on its way out. I had to go and upgrade the materials, you know what I'm saying? So we got to upgrade the materials over here, as you can see. But manifestation, as I said, is internally shifting to a degree to which you're no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing reality change. But if this thing's whole trick is to essentially make you somewhat emotionally dependent, so long as you're emotionally dependent upon your eyes, you're never going to manifest. Because the eyes lie. The eyes lie. The eyes don't see reality. You have to understand, the eyes do nothing more than take electrical signals. And what I mean by that is this. The only reason we see anything in this third dimensional realm, which we see 0.0035%, is because of a process called refraction, which is when light bounces off surfaces. Light is bouncing off this whiteboard, hence why I can see it. And that light lines follow through my eyes, and my eyes essentially don't see. Your eyes don't see. This is on a scientific level. They merely take electrical signals, send them to your brain, and your brain processes a guesstimation based on what it's seeing. Now, when you couple that in with the fact that you only see a fraction of what truly exists in reality, all this emotional dependence that we built on our eyes is the exact reason why we are slaves to the world, why we are slaves to the conditions of reality, because our mind thinks that reality is real, but it's not. It's actually an illusionary reality, a delayed form of consciousness based upon previous states or previous frequencies that have essentially materialized down in the same way that steam condenses into liquid and then into ice. That is literally mind into matter. Now, going further with this whole thing just wants you to feel apathetic. It wants you to feel like there's no point in doing anything that I'm doing. What is the point? It's not working. My reality is not changing. Fuck it. I'm gonna just do the same shit that I would do before. Because it's particularly uncomfortable with the new frequency, because you have to conceptualize frequencies like drugs. When you begin to detach from a particular frequency, you experience withdrawal symptoms. This right here is a withdrawal symptom. Is this stuff working? Because it just wants you to give it its quick fix. Because there's a certain level of comfortability in the frequency that you've been accustomed to. Because you have to understand energy, particularly vibrations into frequencies, they energetically compound and they become more solidified. So essentially what you're doing is detaching from that particular process. Now, you have to understand when that old frequency gets you to think, is this meditation shit that I've been doing, this visualization stuff that I've been doing, is this stuff actually working? You have to understand what it wants you to fall into. It wants you to fall into the question of, has my reality changed? If you need your reality to change in order for you to feel a different way, then you're never actually going to materialize your desired reality. Because what you think is a destination, you think that when you materialize a particular desired reality, you're going to feel great. In fact, it's the actual frequency of everything that you'd experience what you think is the destination that is actually the starting location. What you believe is the destination is the starting location. That's a bar, write that down. The particular emotions, the mental attitudes that you'd be occupying upon materializing your desired reality. Everything that you think you'd feel then is what you need to feel now. Because feeling that now indicates to the universe that you are in that particular desired reality now. And you can only have what you already have. And that's what I call the annoying law of the universe. If you want to see a video on that, drop it in the comments and I'll get to cooking as usual. But as I said, it wants you to say, has my reality changed? And the moment that it does that, don't say yes or no. Say, that's not what manifestation is about. It's not about your reality changing. It's about you internally shifting to a degree to which you're no longer emotionally dependent upon reality changing. The real question is, am I good with it? Am I good without it? You need to untrain the power that you built upon reality. You need to untrain that and redirect all of that internally. That is a form of externalization in of itself. You've given reality too much power based upon what you're seeing with your eyes, not realizing that what your eyes see is nothing more than a delayed materialization of, as I said earlier, a past particular frequency. Now, I hope that makes sense. Light bulbs should be going off right about now. Somebody said, just as you said, that should be giving you a light bulb moment. I actually had one. Which is like, I'm in your head. In my head, I see you all over me. Nah, Jason Derulo was really cooking back in the day, man.
He was alright.
Nah, he was cooking, bro. You're sleeping on him. Pause.
I was gonna say.
Pause. Yeah, this wiper's on its way out, man.
That shit only lasted 2 weeks.
It's because we've been cooking, that's why. Yep, and that's it. And that's it. It was good having you here. We got a new one, guys. But I'm not particularly sure on this one's effectiveness. You guys know I'm a bit of a clean freak. I'm not sure if this one is doing it how I like it. Pause again. Oh, guys, I have a very big announcement. AJ, would you like to come up here? He's tweaking his new iPhone because he tried to violate me for not caring about upgrading. Today,
Gotta bring this beauty on.
we're not sponsored by Apple, no. Today his new life begins. AJ, as you saw the comments got like 2K of him having to watch anime. It's like 2K now.
I feel sick.
So AJ now has to watch anime, guys. And the anime that I've decided to begin, I could have went with Hunter x Hunter, but I'm gonna say Death Note. So from this day forth, AJ is gonna be watching Death Note, guys.
Death Note?
Yeah, Death Note.
Is that not some weird anime? No. I'm just making sure.
They wanted you to watch shit like High School DxD, Boku no Pico. Don't ask me how I know about that stuff, guys. It's not the time for that.
You know, yeah, you see anime. Something about.
Now, two things that I want to be very aware of, and I've already made videos at length on this, but I want to touch on it very, very lightly in this particular video, so you still get some sort of holistic context in the particular process to which your old frequency will attempt to dissuade you or push you away from moving to your new frequency. You have to understand that there's two particular tests, and these two particular tests are what takes place when your frequency is changing. Just as your reality is about to change, two particular tests are done by your old frequency in order to set you up to fail, because that particular failure will lead you to your old frequency. And that is, one, nothing is changing. And 2, things are getting worse. Now, by the way, guys, when it comes to helping people cure their anxiety instantly, I've even helped somebody levitate just off my song recommendations. So an actual song recommendation that will heal your anxiety in the first 5 seconds of you listening to it and raise you up to the highest of dimensions and highest level of consciousness. Go listen to Gangsteritis by Potter Paper. Gangsteritis by Potter Paper. Your life will forever be changed. I think this is actually what gave me a spiritual awakening. Now, as I was saying, 2 particular tests that take place as your frequency is about to change. And these 2 particular tests are to give you some sort of emotional instability. Because here's the thing. Because we're so used to living in this 3rd dimensional realm, this physical plane, we're so used to having to see things with our eyes in order for our mind to register it as real. So when nothing's changing, we're like, damn, is like, does this stuff even work? Like, does this stuff even work? And essentially what it wants you to become is frustrated. As I mentioned earlier, apathetic, irritated, doubtful of everything that you're doing. Because it knows, hey, I know that person's so used to having reality make them feel so good based upon what they see. And because of that, I've got you marked as my bitch. And anytime that I feel like you're moving way too far, I'm going to make shit stop so nothing changes. Because I know then you're going to become doubtful. You're going to become apathetic. Does this stuff even work? Like, why is nothing changing? I've been doing this for so long. Those particular emotions emit a particular frequency. Not only are these particular emotions what's considered low vibrational, but they are glued to what your old frequency is used to. And that's old frequency, not only fans for the horny niggas. Now, the other one, things are getting worse. Once again, the whole basis of these 2 tests is nothing more than an exploitation of the inadequacy of your emotional, which really and truly is a vibrational thing, vibrational discipline or resilience in a sense. It's capitalizing on that. It's capitalizing on both of those things. Now, if you want to see this in way more detail, go watch the video. I think it's 2 tests, pass these 2 tests and it will manifest or something like that. This is what's taking place. And once again, now I know you're thinking, Nero, like I just want to know, like, what am I going to be, experiencing, seeing when my frequency is... You're going to get some, just relax. I have to give you these foundations first so everything clicks. Now, understanding this, the 2 tests, they're nothing more than an exploitation of your lack of emotional, which really and truly is a vibrational form of resilience. For the mere fact that emotion isn't just emotion. You've been actually taught so little about emotion. Emotion is energy emotion. That energy emotion is an energetic signature or an energetic vibration that releases a signature. Eventually that vibration compounds and becomes a frequency. On my knees, no diddy, and then that becomes a reality. You know what I was thinking about? That whole tune of wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. Yeah, that meaning is insane now. Yeah, but anyways, like I was saying, it essentially wants to have the capability to imbalance you, because you have to understand this and make sure you write this down. Anytime that you become internally imbalanced, your external is going to become imbalanced for the mere fact that it is as within as without. On earth as it is in heaven. Vibrationally and then physically. Anytime that internally you become chaotic, your reality will then become chaotic. Anytime that you become doubtful internally, reality will perpetuate and keep these particular circumstances that make you even more doubtful. Anything that you experience within will be magnified and maintained by the frequency, for the mere fact that the universe likes energetic equilibrium. So when you're feeling a particular way, when you're feeling irritated, frustrated, apathetic and doubtful, the universe will magnify those situations to bring conditions, people and events to make you more irritated, to bring conditions, people and events to make you more frustrated, to bring conditions, people and events to make you more apathetic and doubtful. it will use the world around you to magnify what it is that you're feeling. And then once you feel those things, for the mere fact that it likes balance, it will do its best to make sure that it just keeps just hammering you in, just absolutely just beating you in. Pause. But you understand. Now, how do I know if my frequency's changed? These are the signs, guys. I'm about to get into the signs. Somebody actually asked me if I could take my glasses off in a video, so you know what? I'm actually gonna do it. And I know last time I trolled you guys, right? But I'm actually gonna do it right now. So remember this moment. Make sure you screenshot this. You know, do whatever you want with it. There you go.
Anyhow they see the reflection, someone's gonna zoom in.
Somebody was like to me, yo, you wear shades, like, do you have eye problems? You know what I said back to them? Got so many shades they thought I had a lazy eye. Oh.
What song is that?
You don't know what song that's from?
What song it is, bro.
What song is it? What song is it? You don't know where it's from?
It's a Rick Ross song. In fact, he's the feature.
Yeah, what song? Got so many shades they thought I had a lazy eye. Oh.
What's the next one?
No love, cry when only babies die.
Oh, it's a feature in a Drake song.
Drake!
Okay, Meek Mill.
I'm a boss. You lacked, bro. You lacked, bro. By the way, guys, I saw what you lot were saying on me and AJ's video about the Lil Wayne and Young Thug. I'll take that L. I'll take that L. I'll take it. I'll take that L. I'm an honest man. When I'm beat, I'm beat. I may not agree. I knew it was real when some nigga commented, yo, when you said that, you almost lost me as a subscriber, but obviously it's just your opinion, innit? I was like, damn. I was like, raw, like that.
I said,
yeah, like that.
I'm gonna have to let you slide still.
Like that. I was like, raw. That's deep, you know. Damn. But alright, cool. This is how you know if your frequency is changing. These are the signs to actually show you that the work you've been doing is actually correct. And this is going to give you a light bulb moment. And I have to give you these light bulb moments to make you aware so that when your old frequency tries to trick you and finesse you out your position, you don't end up falling back into a position that may be painful. You know what I'm saying? Pause. But anyways, the first sign that takes place as you begin to see your frequency change, ironically, you begin to see more. You enter a state where you begin seeing more. You begin seeing more. This is the very first sign. And what I mean by that is this. So I need you to conceptualize frequency beyond what it's been taught as. I know all the spiritual niggas like to make it, I'm high frequency. This is high frequency. I'm not low frequency. And all this other shit, but them niggas don't know what they're talking about. The way that it needs you to conceptualize frequency is what it is. So frequency is a fancy, or it's a particular energetic way of saying awareness. So what a lot of spiritual people do, they conflate spiritual identity with being high frequency. So them niggas will be like, all right, cool, you know, I'm a vegan, I'm high frequency. The two aren't directly interconnected. Frequency is nothing more than awareness. You can think about frequency as the lens through which you see your reality. So somebody having a high frequency is seeing through a lens that is more clear. And when I conceptualize clear, I mean beyond the illusions of the third dimensional realm. Such as all these tests and all these tricks that your old frequency is going to do. That is what frequency is. So as your frequency begins changing, a sign that you're actually changing is if you actually begin to just see more in your life. And this is very simplistic, but it's also extremely profound. I'm talking about as you're walking down the streets, or better yet, you listen to a song and you hear a bar that never reached out to you, but now you're hearing it differently and you're like, raw, He's saying that. Or you see something on TV, in a movie or a TV show, and you see something that is extremely and spiritual profound. Like I always tell people, one of the most spiritual shows that, like one of my most profound spiritual teachers is Homelander. And I've really, really said this. Or, The Bane, you know what I'm saying? Or Scarecrow. Or, I don't Thomas Shelby, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you just have to pick up what... All jokes aside, when you're actually watching these TV shows, you slightly become aware of things that you never saw before. It's like you can listen to the same song, but you pick something up. You can watch this TV show, but now you realize a deeper particular meaning. You can read, for example, let's say you read a book, and we've all had this experience, and this will be the light bulb. We've all read a book once, and we're like, what the fuck is this saying? This makes no sense. And then you go back to it a couple days, couple weeks later, and you're like, oh, that's what he's saying. You're beginning to see more because your consciousness has been risen. Your lens is becoming more clear. You're beginning to pick up on things in reality that weren't particularly apparent at that particular time. This could be you. Let's say you're shifting from a particular state of consciousness. I'll just use the example of, let's say, money. You're shifting to a particular reality where your desired reality is a certain amount of money. You're going to begin to start witnessing certain opulent things in the streets. You might even see a car that you've been thinking about, so on and so forth. Things that when you were down, you never began to realize. Or let's say you're shifting from a particular state of consciousness and trying to change and alter someone's behavior, which I have a video about. You begin to see things in them that you didn't see before. And this can be negative or positive. You just become almost like you're hyper aware. And it's because you are. The lens through which you're seeing reality has become more clear. So that's the first one. You know what was crazy? A girl commented, after watching all your videos, I ended up manifesting a Dodge Challenger, a black one, and I decided to name it Nero. And now that's such a flex. That's such a flex. I'm extremely honored and grateful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know what my biggest flex is though, AJ? With everything that we've been cultivating here, obviously, people say you're the brains and, somehow I just download everything that you're saying and I just verbalize it. Thank you, AJ. My biggest flex is that with all the views that we have and the Nero Nation and the AJ Association, we've never had to flex our lifestyle, our bank accounts, our lives, or anything like that. Niggas just come here for the brain. Pause. But you get what I'm saying. So it's an honor. Thank you guys.
Shit, I'll come here for the brain too.
Cool. So, first one, seeing more, as I said. The second one, experiencing more. As your frequency begins to shift, it's almost like you begin to experience things in a manner that before, it's quite literally like you're in a new world. And the truth of the matter is you are. Because as I always say, there's one planet, there's 8 billion people, so there's 8 billion worlds. And your world is determined by your frequency. And depending upon your frequency will determine your world. And we all live in different frequencies, so we all live in different worlds. But as your frequency begins to shift, what you begin to experience in your life are things that were never like that before. I'll give you an example. So when my clients start working with me, by the way, if you're an entrepreneur who's stuck at a revenue ceiling and you want to break out in the next 7 weeks and 2 to 5 extra revenue with the Awakened Entrepreneur's frequency, link in the description. When my clients begin working with me, they're like, yo, I've like, the way people are acting towards me are different. Like, people are just being extra nice around me in my world. Like, people are going out their way to do things for me that I've never had experience before. And it's because they're experiencing more, because they've entered a new world, because they've entered a new frequency. So if your life, the things that you've been experiencing, and by the way, guys, whenever you guys let me know how you've been implementing all these practical information that I give in all of these videos, it makes me so happy, like genuinely. Like, I love seeing you guys saying, I was able to manifest this, I was able to manifest this. So let me know, don't be a stranger, because I know a couple of you niggas are too cool like me. Like, we'll watch shit, but we never comment. But please let me know, because it's actually nice. But yeah, you begin to experience more. It's like the world begins to open up to you, as the cliche says, the world begins to open up to you in a way that it just never did before. You know, you might get something for free. Random stuff just begins to happen that's almost inexplainable. And of course, it's going to be extremely particular to the way that your life is framed. So I can't tell you that. But you begin to experience more, and you know what I'm talking about.
I just received a message.
You just got a message.
And they said, tell Nero he looks more handsome than usual in that vest and do-rag.
Tell Nero he looks more handsome than usual in that vest and that. That frequency has changed. They're seeing. Oh, yo, where did you post me?
IG.
Swear down.
It's funny, you're in the background. I took a picture of my iPhone.
That's hilarious. Someone said day 30 of waiting for Nero to ask us to subscribe. Nigga, it's never coming. It's never coming. For people that are new here, what he's referring to is the fact that we've never once asked anybody to like, share, or subscribe, because I believe in what is known as real, recognize real. And those that want to have the ability to take spirituality out of what it's kind of been this whole new agey kind of cult thing, which is essentially just another religion that niggas have moved into. Because in my opinion, spirituality without the ability to control your reality is vanity. Understanding that what we're here to do is to help you practically alter your reality so you can actually live in the life that you want. Because yeah, it's cool being all this spiritual person and shit like that, but if your life's sad, like it's just not banging. You get me? It's just not banging. Now, the next one is feeling more. You're going to begin to start feeling emotions that you have never felt before as your frequency changes. This is an indication that your frequencies change. This is one of the signs. And once again, this could be extrapolated to anything. You could feel more joy. You could feel more anger. You could feel more peace. You can feel more calm. As your frequency is beginning to change, you're going to start feeling things that you've never felt. It might be a particular sense of peace. With me, one thing that I became aware of is that I'm naturally a calm, cool, collected person. I'm always chill, fairly nonchalant. But this level of relaxation, which is actually the true esoteric meaning of Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I am God. Before you can know God to any degree, the prerequisite is you must be still. So being still is an extremely important thing. And how many of us, based upon this 21st century world we live in, are so distracted and so hyper distracted that we actually never get to be still within? It's like internally, your mind, the waters of your mind are almost like this. But here's the thing, in order for a ship to reach its destination in the calmest way, the water should be calm. Just something to be aware of. But you're going to begin to feel things that you've never felt before. You're going to begin to feel different in your day-to-day. A lot of us are programmed in a particular method of survival, especially if you grow up in the ends. And by the way, when we say ends over here, it just, for you guys, it's like the ghetto or the hood. It's the same thing. When you grow up in that particular environment, you're almost like always on go. Like you're almost on go. Like you're looking for problems, or you're looking for something that may threaten you to any degree. It's like you can't relax. But your frequency, when it begins to shift, you begin to feel different. You're no longer feeling the way that you've been programmed to feel, because here's the thing. The aim isn't to live reality by default, it's to live it by design. And that's exactly what we're doing right here. See, this one doesn't wipe as well. Unless I get it wet. Pause.
You need my ones.
Now, real talk. Cool. Another indication. You react different. You begin to react different. And what I mean by that is you begin to react different to reality. If you want to know if your reality has changed, all the bullshit that the world particularly throws at you to get you imbalanced, or the shit that would regularly, normally piss you off or imbalance you internally, just doesn't have that effect anymore. it just doesn't have that same particular effect anymore. Like, I remember, you know, getting letters about, you know, bailiffs or debt collectors. That would completely, like, send me off. But I don't think I could ever see another letter like that again and ever be particularly imbalanced. And that's not because of where I am now. It's because I felt like that in the moment. And here's the thing. As I said earlier, you gotta be it before the world proves it to you. So if you want to be rich, you gotta be rich before the world proves it to you. If you want to be in love, you have to be loved internally before the world proves it to you. If you want to feel appreciated in your world, then you need to feel appreciated before the world proves it to you. So long as you're waiting on the world to prove something to you, you're never going to get it, because you're going against the nature of things, the natural order, the metaphysical order of things. And anytime you attempt to go against the order of reality, it will quite literally fuck you. Now, if you want to know if your frequency's changed, as I said, part of that is reacting different. And this isn't, at first, this will be something that is a conscious thing. You'll be making sure that you're consciously acting different. You're consciously not getting caught up in the way that you would have got caught up before. But as time goes on, you just naturally, shit just doesn't get to you in the same way that it did before. It just doesn't get to you in the way that it did before. It just doesn't have that button that it knows it could press before. It just doesn't bang the same. And that is an indication that your frequency has changed, because your reaction, a lot of people don't understand this. The way that you react to reality is actually an indication of your state of consciousness. So if something happens and you emotionally react, you've just now said to the universe, and please remember these 3 words, please remember these 3 words, please remember these 3 words. Attention is alignment. Attention is alignment. The moment that you begin to emotionally react to a particular frequency that you're trying to move away from, you have now said to the universe that you are aligned to this. So let's say something happens that is completely opposite to what the vision that you want to materialize for your life is, takes place, and you allow that to internally sway you, whether that's getting something breaks and you got to pay for it, it's getting a fine, you know, somebody does you dirty, whatever it is. The moment you begin to emotionally react, you've now stepped into attention is alignment. Now the universe, based upon your reaction, has said, oh, okay, if they're reacting like this, then that means that they're in this particular state of consciousness, they're in this frequency, so they're in this reality. And it keeps aligning you there. It just keeps aligning you there, just aligning you there. Now, those are the signs if your frequency is changed. But the reason why I gave you those signs is for a very, very important reason. And let me end it with this. That important reason is for the mere fact that, as I said earlier, your old frequency, in fact, let me write this down, because this is a bar that needs to be written down. As if some niggas said that I don't clean my board properly. I know you lot are just trying to trigger me. And one thing I'm grateful for is that, like, the audience is extremely funny. If you lot were them uptight spiritual niggas, we would not get along. I feel like a bunch of those came in and they left.
Yeah.
They want me in the archetype of the grand rising beloved. Now here's the thing about your old frequency. And let me write this red clearly so it stands out. Your old frequency will try gaslight and reduce your progress to trap you. So now all of those signs that I've given you should be an indication to your mind that you actually are changing. And I want you to pay attention to the fact that you have changed, because concentration is a centralization of energy, and you're centralizing energy to the fact that you have changed, which means that you're going to continue to stack that energetic momentum to ensure that that change comes all the way out entirely. Your old frequency will try to persuade you that you ain't done shit and it's not working, to attempt to gaslight you to keep itself around. But the truth of the matter is, I know in one of those signs that I've given you that your frequency's changed, you felt one of them. So pay attention to the fact that your frequency is changing, because the better that you feel in the understanding that what you're doing is working, the more internally you'll less need to see your reality change. And the less you need to see your reality change, the more you step into the true definition of what manifestation is, which is internally shifting to a degree to which you're no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing reality change. And at that point, the gap in between you and your desired reality will collapse, because that gap is normally up to importance. Importance is interpreted by the universe as a form of energetic space. So that importance that you're placing upon it, your desire to need to see in order to feel different, is registered as importance, which creates this gap. When you collapse that, your desired reality and your current reality will merge into one, and you will experience that now. Congratulations, your frequency has changed.